Alright, what's going on everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another quick live stream. I'm going to try to keep this one short, probably only about 10 minutes, maybe 15, depending on how much talking and how much activity we have going on. But hopefully you guys are having a good start to your week. It is November 5th, 2018. Hard to believe already. But hopefully you guys have had a good year. And first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, definitely start hitting that subscribe button below. We'd love to have you join our community of a bunch of awesome like-minded people. We have about 420 of us now. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out our Discord group chat as well. It's totally free, of course. I do not charge for anything associated with this channel, but we'd love to have you join that, of course. But I'll just get right into it. So I wanted to just kind of throw another Iron Condor at everybody. I know, like I said, I keep hitting Iron Condors so hard, and I have a video coming up actually here that's going to upload, I believe, Wednesday, either Wednesday or Thursday, just about why I keep hitting Iron Condors so hard. I mentioned it some here and there, but the video is just dedicated to just why I think everybody, in all honesty, should trade Iron Condors, even those people that don't necessarily want to get into like full-time day trading. So that's going to be an awesome video coming out here soon. But so for today, I went ahead and placed an Iron Condor, a very slim chicken Iron Condor on Starbucks. We mentioned Starbucks yesterday. Clint, I believe, called it out on the Sunday Stock Watch yesterday. So shout out to him, of course, for that. Starbucks IV rank is around 56.5 right now. So pretty decent to say the least. And if we go over to Think or Swim, you can see obviously Starbucks just had this major pop up. I was honestly surprised that it was up. Obviously it was barely up, only about 1/4% on the day, but still up to say the least, and I was honestly surprised by that. However, obviously most of the market was up today, so obviously that makes sense. But of course we have this dividend coming out here next week. Doesn't really affect us too much. Might mean that some people are starting to buy. If so, that's kind of dumb to buy on just for the dividend, because the dividend's only 36 cents, and obviously it's like at all-time highs right now, or pretty close to all-time highs, if that's not an all-time high. Surprised it hung in there. Yeah, so I mean, in all honesty, I'm not too worried about my Iron Condor, which I'll show you guys right here. We'll look at the curve actually, just because it looks a little better. Actually, no, it doesn't, but you can tell, I mean, I have a chicken Iron Condor to say the least. So pretty much as long as it stays above, just keep it simple, as long as it stays above $62.50 and stays below $66, I'll collect, I forget what my exact premium was, 10 bucks. And after commissions, it's like $5.50 essentially. So, I mean, not a huge, again, not a huge dollar amount, but a decent, if I remember right, I had to put up, I forget how much. Let me see, so I have $11.89 left, so it took roughly $45, just under 45, but I'll just round up and say $45. So if we get our calculator pulled out here, pull it up real quick, so I'm gonna make what, like 546 divided by pretty much a $45, just under 45, but we'll just say a $45 investment. Again, 12% profit. I will not complain about 12% profit on any investment for a week. For a week investment, you gotta think the stock market S&P 500 has only averaged a rate of return of like 11% a year. So if you make 12% in a week, you can't really complain at the end of the day. So you always got to keep everything in perspective. And if you want to break it down even further, and you're like, okay, well, how much is that per day roughly? So 12% divided by 5 days, you're averaging 2.5% a day. That's not bad. Like I said, if you can average 2 to 3% a day or more, even if you can do 1% a day, that's a start. If you can do 2 to 3, 4% a day, you're going to watch your account just mathematically explode, obviously, from a compound interest standpoint. But this trade, in all honesty, kind of went against my criteria, in all honesty. If I remember right, the potential for profit when I placed this trade was at like, I don't know if it's showing right here at all. Let's take a look here. Position detail. I don't think so. No, it's not going to like show potential for profit right now. But the potential for profit essentially was somewhere around like 68%, something like that, 66 maybe. which you guys know, 68 is usually the lowest I want to go, 68 or 69. It's somewhere around 70 or above is where I really want to be. But this one was just setting up decent enough for me where I felt the risk was worth taking. Obviously, at the end of the day, I can always close the position early, take a small loss, and move on. But, ow, I just kicked my desk on accident. But, I don't think I'm really going to have an issue with it, in all honesty. In all honesty, I believe that this is probably going to go down roughly 1% tomorrow if I was a betting man. Now, does that mean that's obviously going to happen? No. I mean, obviously, if I could predict that, I'd be like a multi-billionaire right now. But where's it at right now today? After hours. So we're pretty much right where we started. So for it to drop 1%, you're only talking roughly 63.85. That's what I think personally is going to happen tomorrow, is that we're probably going to drop somewhere right around 63.50 is actually kind of what I was thinking. So that'd be actually a 1.5% drop from where we closed today. And the reason I think that is because we built a little bit of a support right there, as you can see. It bounced 1, 2, 3 times right around there. So I definitely think we're probably going to test that tomorrow. And in all honesty, that might be a quote-unquote new support before Starbucks tries to leg up even higher. Because, I mean, the price target keeps getting raised on this left and right. So, if anything, I'm more worried about Starbucks hitting my upside of my Iron Condor than my downside. But, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it just depends, obviously, on what the markets do overall. Starbucks will probably get affected a little bit by that as well. But, let me go ahead and look at our 10-day really quick, too. So, yeah, it would definitely make sense for this to build a support right around 60. If you look at this 30-minute chart, I would say somewhere around 63.80. I don't know what I said a minute ago, but I say 63.50, something like that. So it might be slightly higher of a support. But either way, even if it drops down to 63.80, I still have roughly, what, $2.20 to the upside. So, I mean, if it came down to somewhere around 63, let's just say 76, because that's where I landed. For it to come up, it would have to go up essentially another 3.5% for me to, like, lose that investment. I don't think Starbucks is going to go over $66 this week, which is why, obviously, I placed my position like that. And at the same time, I do not believe that it's going to go under 62.5 for sure. If anything, now that I'm looking at it from this 10-day chart, if anything, what I probably would have done differently is maybe brought this up to 63 and then pushed this out to 66.5. And I think I might have looked at that, but if I remember right, the credit was going to be like a max of $8. So I think that's why I kept it how I did, because I obviously always play around with my strike prices, try to get the best amount of premium for the best chance of profit, of course. Because obviously the goal with a weekly is to hold it all the way through, especially with the commissions and everything. If you have to close early on this small of a position, you're pretty much going to break even. You might make $1, or you might even end up losing $1 or $2, depending on how early you have to close, or maybe even more, of course. So you definitely just have to keep everything in perspective and think about all the possibilities whenever you're doing these chicken Iron Condors. But yeah, me too, Clint. Like I said, I mean, I was surprised and honestly this thing stayed green on the day. It looked like it was going to try to go red briefly. But like I said, each time it just got saved. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. I mean, it's still a pretty flat day for Starbucks. Like I said, only up 0.25%. But it'll be just kind of interesting to see how that opens up early on in the morning tomorrow. We can see we settled out a little bit above where we ended the day, not by much, but by what, about 0.1%, something like that. Check our stream really quick. We got 2 of you tuning in. Hopefully you guys are having a good night. Like I said, now that I'm not supposed to be doing any 5 to 7s, I'm going to try to do a lot more live streams, even if they're just these short little 10 to 15 minute ones for you guys. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, is you guys. I don't know how long we've been on here already. Almost 10 minutes. So, like I was saying though, I just cannot stress enough the whole fact that you can make literally 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, 30% a week on Iron Condors. Obviously, with implied volatility still being pretty high, you're seeing a boost in these premiums and whatnot, which means you're going to bring home more money as the Iron Condor, as the premium collector. But even once volatility kind of slows down a little, it's already started to slow down slightly, but overall, even as it slows down, I mean, you can definitely still find stocks that have been super volatile, that are always volatile, like your Apples, like any of your tech stocks, and you could still probably make a solid 10 to 20% a week on those, let alone your ETFs like XOP SPY. You can still make roughly 5 to 10%, maybe even more. We'll see here in the future as we continue to go through this journey. Obviously, you can still make 5, 10, 15% safe money every single week. Now, obviously, there's always risk at the end of the day, but as long as you're sticking to that criteria, and just because I have a criteria doesn't mean you guys need to stick to it. Obviously, I don't even stick 100% to it. Today, my trade was like I said, like a 66% chance of profit, but I looked at the risk versus reward ratio, and I went, okay, 66% is still a decent chance. That's a 2 out of 3 chance on being profitable, and I like the chances still just based on where Starbucks is currently sitting at. So you always just have to think, you have to keep everything in perspective, and like I will keep saying until the day I die, or day for whenever YouTube shuts down something, I will always say, think in terms of percentages, not dollars. If you keep thinking in terms of dollars, you will end up blowing up your account. If you think in terms of percentages, you watch. I guarantee you your psychology will change when it comes to trading, and you will start covering a hell of a lot more, because just look around at most stocks. I mean, Starbucks today, a big company, went up 1/4% today. Now, am I saying you should cover 1/4% of profit? That's up to you at the end of the day. I probably wouldn't cover 1/4, but I mean, if I'm up 1.5%, 2% on something, why would I not cover, especially if I'm very uncertain, if the market's very uncertain and I don't really know where it's going to go at the end of the day. That's just gambling. That's not a good trading plan at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm not going to get too much into why I like Iron Condor so much. I'm going to make you guys wait for that till Thursday. But, I mean, a lot of you already know why I like Iron Condor so much. But I just cannot stress enough that literally almost anybody could do this. I mean, it takes homework, studying, all that stuff, obviously. But it's not rocket science. If you can just look at the charts, I mean, you could pick somebody up off the street, show them a recent trend of any stock almost, and be like, okay, where would you think this stock's probably going to stay throughout the week? And they're probably, just based on the last few days, would probably say, probably somewhere between 62 and 66 if they were a betting man, right? I mean, it's just not rocket science. That's why I think anybody can trade Iron Condors and make decent money at the end of the day. Because, I mean, I was literally just going over the math last night on what if my account was blah, blah, blah amount of size, right? Which can get you in trouble if you're not careful about it, obviously. But obviously the premium is going to be slightly lower in this example because we have another day less, of course. But like my Iron Condor, for example, why does it show max? Oh, it's because let me go to a different one. XOP. So let's say we wanted to do the 4-day. Like I said, keep in mind again that the premium is going to be slightly less because now we only have 4 days versus 5. Believe it or not, each day makes a big difference because obviously theta is working in your favor as the premium collector. But so let's just say, I'm not saying that I think this is going to happen with XOP, but just to kind of give you guys just some perspective based on trades that I tend to do, which I'm surprised XOP was up pretty big, by the way. I mean, I thought oil was going to move and rebound, but oil rebounded big time today, didn't it? Look at the 1 day. Or did it just drop? I thought oil rebounded today, from what I heard. Went up to 64, that was at 10:13 a.m. And then apparently it came way back down. Pull up the 10-day. I think it's building a support right around $62 to $63 though. So oil, like I said, this week I'm slightly bullish on oil still. Overall, I'm bearish on oil long term, but however, I think we're kind of double bottoming right now, and you might see oil try to retest 65 sometime this week, so watch out for that. But why the hell is XOP up? That's strange. But anyways, so let's make a realistically educated guess here. Okay, so I'd say 39. Let's do 39.50, and then let's do 34. So pretty close. 39.50. Let's even just keep it. Let's just keep it 39. $1. I don't think it's gonna go up another $1.80 this week. And like I said, keep in mind the premium again is gonna be lower because we've lost a whole nother day. This would probably be, what was it yesterday when we were looking at the Iron Condor like this, $11, something like that. So I mean, yeah, pretty close because you're theta. So $9 off of 41. You can see you're gonna get 446, roughly close to a 10% return, right? So what gets me really excited is obviously long term. I know I'm gonna have over $25,000 in my account. The goal obviously is gonna be to get over $50,000 and then just keep building it, keep building it, keep building it, right? So then you can just live off that money, of course. But you can see, what is that? 76% profit. That is within our range by far that we would accept, right? So this is a $41 max loss, and what I'm trying to say is, like, so with a $25,000 account, for example, I would not spend more than roughly 5 to 10% on any trade, me personally. So pull our calculator back up here. And for those of you just tuning in, we were going over Starbucks for a long time, but I'm moving on really quickly just to just show you guys this example. So like, let's just say 5% on the low end. So that's roughly 12,000. No, I did that wrong. I did 50% times 0.05. There we go. So roughly $1,200 to $1,300 on an investment, on a trade, whatever. So not strikes, quantity. What did I do? Max loss. There we go. Okay. So now quantity. Good Lord. I forgot I gotta highlight all of these. Sorry about that. So now quantity. Let's say we go up. What do we say? Roughly $1,200, $1,300 for a trade. So let's just keep it right there. $1,271. Pretty close. So our max profit after commissions and everything is just over 220 bucks. So in 1 week, off of 5% of your entire account, you made $220 of profit, and all you literally did was place this trade on Monday, Tuesday, whenever, and then you literally just sit there and watch what XOP does throughout the week and collect that profit at the end of the week. Again, I mean, literally, you can keep a job and just build a massive nest egg just by trading Iron Condors. I mean, it's just, and you pay $40, pretty much $56 total in commissions. I don't care at the end of the day whenever I'm still collecting this much. So that's just me personally. And again, this is based off of just 5% of a $25,000 account. Well, probably 6% because after your fees and commissions, it pushed us up to $1,327. Either way, a very small portion of your account, and you made over $200 in a week. Now, obviously, well, you got taxes and capital gains. Yeah, you need to set aside roughly 30 to 40%. I always say 35%, just based on what I've learned. But $222 times 65%, $144 times 4 weeks, $575 roughly in a month. If you had that type of trade 4 different weeks off of 6% of your account, keep in mind. So let's say, obviously this is perfect scenario, perfect world. Let's say with the rest of your account, you maintain that kind of momentum and you did it. So 6% of your account, let's say times what, roughly 15, was 15 times 6, 60. Is that right? 6%. I'm trying to get as close to 100% of your account. 6% times 15, that's not 90%, so pretty close. You multiply that times 15. There you go. You're making 8-9 grand a month, bring home. More than what most people make at most jobs. So that's the goal, obviously. And like I said, I'll break down all of that a lot more in the video coming out this week, Wednesday or Thursday. I forget which day exactly. It's on the premiere or whatever, Wednesday or Thursday evening. So hopefully you guys will tune into that video. And like I said, very excited for you guys to see that video for sure. And obviously, like I was saying, Starbucks is the one I'm holding right now, just for anyone that's like tuning in and whatnot after the fact. I'm gonna go ahead and clear that order out. So again, as long as Starbucks stays below 66 and stays above 62.50, I'll collect roughly, I forget exactly the exact percent, roughly 10% or something like that, between 9 and 12%, if I remember right. So that'll be, again, more money, more money, more money. Think about percentages. Don't think about dollars. The dollars will come with time. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap the stream up because I know my girlfriend's going to be coming home with groceries soon, and I'll have to go down there and help her with that. So like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy. Thoughts on SPY. I think, let me go ahead and look at that real quick. SPY. Is this the 10-day? Okay, I'll look at the 10-day. I think resistance based off of our 10-day chart, resistance around 270, resistance around 276, support right around 270. So I mean, you got a decent little range. Yeah, I think we're gonna build some support right around 270. It was a pretty strong resistance for a few days. See, it got rejected once, twice, 3, 4. If you want to count that, 4, roughly 3 to 4 times before it finally busts through. So I think 270 is going to be a new resistance, new support this week. 276 is probably going to be the resistance for this week. As for tomorrow, I personally think tomorrow is going to be red day. That's just my thoughts on it. But hold on, let me walk that back. Tomorrow might be another green day, roughly 0.5%, but I think we're going to have a red day within the next 2-3 days at the most, personally, just based off this 10-day chart. But overall, the range, 270 to 276. As for calls and puts, because I know that's what you play, Josh, it's kind of obviously right in the middle of that range right now. So be careful either way you go. But, yeah, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this stream up. I will chat with you guys in Discord if you have any questions or anything like that, as always. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below. We'd love to have you join our community, a bunch of like-minded individuals. Sure thing, Josh. Awesome. And like I said, I mentioned Discord. Check out our Discord group chat as well. We'd love to have you in there as well. But until next time, guys, keep on out there making those profits, covering your profits, and achieving some financial freedom this year. And I'll see you guys hopefully maybe within the next day or two. If not, I'll hop in the chat with that premiere video coming out Wednesday or Thursday. Take it easy, guys.